Okay, Lee. I'm going to show you how this works. So, there's the speakers in there. It's hard to see it now. One in there. There's one in there. So, they have dual input, as I explained to you. So, the PC goes into one input, which is input A. Input B on the back of these speakers is flat, i.e. it has no boost on bass or treble, so it's better suited to feeding the radios in there. So the way I have it done then is that the radio, well, it's not the radio goes into that input, the feed from the mixer goes into that input rather. So you can see all the inputs and outputs there. So the trick is that all your transmit audio, you have it panned to the left, and any outgoing audio to the speakers, you have it panned to the right, like on these two channels here. Okay, now when I make videos and I'm running the HF end of it on the camera here, just with the phone, people always go, oh wow, the quality of the audio is so good. And all I've done is I run the audio feed from the radios into the mixer, which then go on to the speakers, and all I do is I crank up the mid and give it a little bit of bass. And when you crank up this up to, this is like a parametric EQ, so what you're doing is you're boosting the mids from 1k up to about 2.5, which is the most intelligible part of human speech, which is the part that we really want to emphasize in radio communications. So that's all I've done there, is just boost it up and run it through the mixer. So there's HF running, okay, you can hear him yammering away there, right? So without doing anything, there's the PC at the same time. You can just, if you want, just turn down the radio there, or you can just turn it down here on this one, so that will do the radio. So that's HF. I'll just turn that down a bit there, and then HF is also running through the mixer. And I have this in the audio line as well. It's one of these a DHP noise cancelling job. It's not bad, it's okay. Sometimes you can hear the difference. Sometimes it's handy. I don't use it all the time because the main problem is that the mixer adds a small level of amplification to the audio signal coming into it. It brings everything to line level. This is amplified as well, and the speakers are amplified. So the way this thing is kind of set up, I did have some problems with this, and I got on to the guy that manufactures it, and he was saying, oh well, the problems you're having are because it's amplified and blah blah blah. And you know, so sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, because it causes more problems than it cures. So it's just the way it goes. So basically that's the complete ins and outs of it. So the one set of speakers does everything in the shack. You know, there's the computer, does HF, it does VHF, and then the one microphone does the radios, well, with the exception of this. Now I could make it if I wanted to. I could make that this microphone done that, but I don't really, because of the DTMF pad, that's why. I just left it like that. But that microphone obviously is fed into the mixer, which then goes to the rack up there, and then it comes down and it goes into a big isolation transformer before it goes into the radio, which is kind of because of that, really. When you're running an amp, you know, there's a certain amount of RF flying around in the shack because you have an amplifier in the on the scene. But here, that's the microphone output, left channel, coming out of channel 2, and that just goes down into the PC. Now, I just have it done this way. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to tidy all this up. I have one of those little roundy lads like what you see in an office desk for all the cables. So I'm going to drill the top just so, and it'll be below the mixer, so all the cables will go underneath, and it'll just tidy all that up because it's a little bit messy looking there. And so whatever else you feed into the mixer, here or even here or any of these other channels, will run through the speakers at the same time as the PC, the VHF and 2 meters. Everything will run simultaneously, and it's quite handy. So just the way it used to be here, I used to have, you know, I'd have a speaker for the Super Snake, a speaker for the 920, an external speaker for the 2800, and you know, it was just wires everywhere. It was prone to RF kind of getting in, and it was just a pain in the arse basically. So all the cabling here, everything is star quad. Even all the speakers are wired. All the speakers running to the mixer, from the mixer. Even the balance cable that goes, because the way these speakers work is the amplifier is in that speaker, and you just have a cable then that runs from the back of that across to feed the satellite speaker. So the amplifier and the mixer and everything is in that one, and even that piece of cable going between the two is star quad microphone cable as well. And what you do is you just you send the shield to the ground and tie the other 4 together, solder them all together and feed them in as the plus. And it's the twisting in the cable, that's very good, which gives you good cancellation and stuff like that. If you read up on that site I sent you the link to before, it'll probably explain it all very well to you. That's where I kind of picked up most of what I know from that site, and it's very, very good. So like I said to you, I picked up these speakers for €40, which is about 30 quid. Used. They came in the box, not a mark on them, and they're kind of unique in the fact that they have the dual input and the onboard mixer. You normally have to pay a lot more for studio monitors to have that feature, and the cheaper ones generally don't tend to have it. But Kurzweil stuff is good quality. They're an American music company. They make keyboards and they make a lot of MIDI stuff, and the idea of these is for people that play music and they're doing a bit of recording in a home studio, and they can listen to it, what they've laid down on a separate track. You know, so, but they kind of lend themselves to our application very well. So there you go. Any questions, you can give me a shout, and I'm actually going to post this on YouTube because maybe some other people may have interest in it. So if you have a shack with a lot of stuff in it, multiple audio sources, and you don't want speakers everywhere, this is kind of the way to go about it. So there you go. And thanks for watching, 7-3, and we'll catch you again soon.